Hi everybody. I think that this is a time in our class where you are feeling overwhelmed and confused and just need some direction. So this week, the introduction to the week 6 is I feel so confused right now. It's okay. This is where we all start to go at different paces and in different directions. As I said at the very beginning of the class, this class is extremely different to the other ones you've taken to this point. Experience tells me that you will survive. Think about the change theory that we talked about, where we go through a period of discomfort because we're not really sure what's going on. And then once things fall into place, we realize, and you actually will feel so empowered by the end of this class. I promise. My advice is to keep things simple. I've said it in the responses to the needs analysis. I'm saying it in the responses to the grant applications. I love that you want to change the world, but I want you to stay within the parameters of this class, and we have 10 more weeks, and you are spending maybe 6 to 10 hours a week on this class, as well as everything else. Keep it manageable. One thing to remember is that the deadlines are pretty fluid right now because we're all dependent on our colleagues for helping to meet the course goals. You're going to need to find a colleague to work on the tech modeled lesson with. You're going to need to find colleagues to do the professional development with. You can't order your colleagues, you have to be at this particular thing on this particular day. So I understand that. So the deadlines are very fluid. Let's talk about grants. Keep sharing your ideas. Okay, I'm here to help you find a grant and to write a successful application. As I said in my email earlier this week, several people have submitted their grants to me. I've given them feedback, and then they go and they submit them to the funding agency and they get funded. But keeping it simple is key here. Think local. Orange County Department of Ed. I'm not sure when the CTAP grants are coming out, but we can have a look. You can have a look at that. Local companies, maybe your local grocery stores, your own district. A lot of times districts offer mini grants. The Teachers Credit Union offers grants. Best Buy is another one that might be a good one to look at. Also think manageable. A grant for $100,000 is an enormous grant, okay? That's not something that I would approach on my very first grant application. A grant for $1,000, $500 is a bit more manageable. The way I look at it is the amount of funding that they're offering is pretty equitable to the amount of hours that you're going to have to put in to write a good application. This is probably the first time many of you have written a grant application. I understand it's overwhelming, but once you have a few under your belt, you'll see that it's quite a system and you'll be able to continue to apply for grants. I think you should also look at the grants calendar and see what's coming up in the next year or so. Or even if you're not in a classroom, apply for a grant that's already the deadline's passed. It's just to get experience at how to fill out those applications. Now I'd like to talk about your needs analysis, and I'm going to say it again. Think simple. Small group, your grade level team, a couple of teachers that you have lunch with. Like I said in the beginning, you're really at the mercy of your colleagues for this. So keeping it simple and manageable is a good strategy. I know it's new to you. It's going to be scary. We all hate talking in front of our colleagues, but you're going to have to do it. As you write your questions for the needs analysis survey, if that's what you're doing, ask yourself, what do I hope to learn from this question? Okay, and also think about how would you answer the questions that you're asking. If someone said, well, what can I do to help you understand using an interactive whiteboard? Well, my answer would be, well, you can teach my class for 3 days so that I can learn it by myself. You can walk me through creating the lesson plans. You can do, so really make your questions specific enough that you're actually going to be able to use the answers to help you plan your professional development. I also suggest that you choose something that you're very passionate about. If you're passionate about it, it will show. Your enthusiasm will be contagious. When you talk about it, people will say, wow, she's so excited, or he's really into this. It must be really good. So if there's something in this program that you've thought, you know what, I just love VoiceThread, or I really like the way that we've used some Web 2.0 tools. Think about something that you actually feel like you're kind of an expert at already, and then think about sharing that with your colleagues. As you're planning your professional development, one thing you'll need to be thinking about is you need to think about their proficiency, but also the way it's integrated. For example, discovery streaming, okay? A lot of people use discovery streaming, but are they using all of the tools within discovery streaming? I'm working with a school right now on their use of haiku, and we're looking at, are they actually using all of the tools, or are they just using one thing over and over again? So you can think about that as well. Maybe everybody's using the gradebook, but they're not using it to their maximum potential. So think about proficiency as well as integration. Now let's talk about the professional development plan. My guess is none of you are ready to share this yet. It's part of our week 6, but if you're not ready, no big deal, no stress zone right here. Share it when you're ready. I'm going to be moving that discussion from week to week, so it's always going to be available. We'll always continue checking it. I want you to remember that my job at this stage of your career as a technology professional is to kind of push you out of the nest. And I'm going to still be there to help you land safely, but I'm pushing you, and I know I'm doing it. It's that uncomfortable situation that you're feeling like, well, I don't know, and it's my job to help you realize that you are way more knowledgeable than you think you are. Don't stop asking questions. Send me emails, and I love that some of you have been sending me emails. Use the conferences and the discussion boards to ask me that, to share your anxieties and stresses, because I can guarantee you've all got the same ones. Finally, the group project. Well, it's actually not finally, but the group project, I haven't had many questions since you started on this, so I'm going to assume that it's okay. My only reminder to you is that as you're planning this, this is a class on technology professional development. And so whatever your topic is, you need to focus on how that topic is aligned to technology professional development. So if you're not sure, ask me. My job is to help you conduct a really good discussion on it, not to let you fall flat because you didn't stay in alignment with the topic. So please continue to ask me questions. Finally, I want to know if you're working smart. Okay, this week you also need to preview the technology modeled lesson. So now we've got a handbook, a technology modeled lesson, and a professional development sessions. To work smart, you can make all of these 3 things work together. So for example, if you're doing a professional development on VoiceThread, your handbook, which is not a handout, I want you to make sure you understand that distinction, could also be on integrating VoiceThread into the classroom. Part of it would be, here's how you use VoiceThread, here's how you sign up, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. And then the other part would be, here's how you integrate it into your lessons. Your technology modeled lesson could also be on using VoiceThread. You could be inviting another teacher into your classroom, or you could go into his or her classroom and facilitate a lesson in which the students are using VoiceThread. So you're staying within the same area. That's working smart. It's not trying to become an expert in 3 different things. I'd like you to think about staying sane. I know how you're feeling right now. I teach this class every year, and I get the exact same thing right about now. So what are you going to do to stay sane? What day are you going to take off to make sure that you have a day for yourself? You need a break. And I know you've got Tim's class going on as well, and I know there's a lot of work involved in that class too. So are you using your time productively, or are you spending more time stressing out than working? Do you need to work smarter, or do you need to work harder? Some of you may need to work harder, but most of you, I'm going to say, probably need to work smarter. And that means planning ahead, making things work together in conjunction with each other. A lot of you have already got your partners worked out for the professional development project. And so keep working together. Make your handbook together. Think about the technology modeled lesson together. Keep working smarter. That's it. Have a great weekend. I think it's going to be really hot this weekend, so stay cool and stay sane.